If you talk to any UX or product designer, there's an 80% chance that they're obsessed with the Japanese arts. That ranges from design, manga, songs, poetry, and more. At the core, they all tell great stories. So what is the commonality or the secret sauce here? They're actually all composed and written with this classical Eastern Asian narrative structure, which is popularized as Kisho Tenketsu. Ki standing for introduction, Sho standing for development, Ten standing for turning point, and Ketsu standing for conclusion. Now, what does any of this have to do with interviews? Kisho Teketsu is not just a way of sharing stories, but also handling information. It's a way of thinking. Now, with that in mind, here's my modern approach to telling stories in interviews using these three key principles. First, structure your stories by distilling them down to the essence. Working in tech can be chaotic, messy, and rarely linear. Sharing the essence of a story that's simple, interesting, maybe with a twist, can keep people engaged. Too many details will derail them from the focus of your main message. Here's my simple framework on what I use to structure my stories in order to keep the content clear and concise. I call it SPAR, which is S-P-A-R. S stands for short introduction, which is how I introduce how I will answer the question. P is for problem definition, which is how this opportunity arose and was identified to be solved. A stands for approach, which is how I tackled this problem. Lastly, we have R for result, which is the conclusion, and I'll touch more upon this in the next point. Second, conclude with the impact of your work. Silicon Valley loves quantifying successes with metrics. If you don't have hard quantitative metrics such as increased revenue or retention, you can use more qualitative factors such as these. First, efficiency, which is how you improve the product development process, maybe reduce rework or ship something out quickly. Second is satisfaction, whether that is from customers or users. Third, relationship building, whether that is your immediate team, such as PMs, engineers, and designers, or more cross-functional teams like marketing, data, and ops. Your impact can be on a team, product, or company level. If you're still in doubt about how to brag about yourself, then consult your PM friends. After all, they are not called CEOs of making an impact for nothing. Third, be proud and confident in promoting your work because we know your PMs will. This important shift in your mindset will help you communicate more confidence, which according to Meribian, who is a body language expert, this accounts for 55% of all your communication. Let's see an example where we combine confidence with framework. What comes to mind when you think of a project that you're proud of? I worked on this project at ZenDrive that had to do with car crashes, and because there was little data, I did my own user testing. I was able to align with product engineering early on to showcase my designs as well as my user testing and findings and iterate from there on. And from working closely with them, we were able to ship something out quickly that met the project constraints and timelines. And then we were able to get leadership approval to build this and then ultimately sign off with Apple Senior Council to get this launched on the iOS App Store. So overall, it was a successful project and I'm proud of it because it had to do with car crashes, which was a new technology at the time that there were no other parallels or competitors to draw from. And we were able to launch. While I was working at ZenDrive, I designed one of the first car crash detection features ever. I'm proud of this project because this technology had the potential to save millions of lives. ZenDrive was a pioneer in the space, so there were no other comparisons or products to really draw from, so I had to heavily rely on my own user research. From deeply understanding people's pain points in the user journey, I was able to design an experience that would automatically send for help whenever a crash was detected, and then send updates throughout this time. When this project shipped, it received a glowing review from Apple Senior Council, who said that this feature had the potential to lead this space. How you frame your stories can make a world of difference in how they come across. So those are the three principles that I apply to my interviews, and these are the same techniques I've used to land roles as a senior product designer. The best way to apply these principles is to practice and get feedback from others as soon as possible, or user feedback as we call it in design speak. Receiving mentor and peer feedback tripled my rate of improvement. They are the closest things I found to cheat codes. It took me way too long to realize that interviewing is a two-way conversation, so why am I practicing alone? It's giving the same energy as a founder who never user tests the products. Since this video is not sponsored, I'm going to be plugging in my own study club for interviewing. We get together 2 to 5 times a month to practice mock interviews with each other, and designers can get feedback from the other designers on how well they did in interviews. You will likely be surprised to find out that what you're actually caught up about is not what other people care about. For example, one of the designers I coached thought that they weren't talking about their design process clearly enough. This was something that I worried about earlier in my career as well. But I realized in hindsight that what mattered the most was talking about how you tackled ambiguity and complexity and navigated those constraints to ship a product that was awesome. This is more important than talking about how you followed a set, teachable process. Anyways, hope this video helps you in your next interview. If you want to join my study club for interviewing, then check out the link below. And if you want to hang out with me more in San Francisco, then hit that subscribe button and notification bell. I hope you enjoyed today's trip to San Francisco's Japanese tea garden, and I hope to see you next time. Take care.